Hey everyone, I'm Michelle Togley. I'm Bustle's Sex and Relationships Editor, and I'm here with dating expert Samantha Burns. Welcome, Samantha.
Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah, it's great.
So today we're going to be talking about dating offline and how to meet people in real life, which sort of feels like a lost art these days. So this month at Bustle, we've deemed it Appless April, which is a challenge to delete your dating apps and focus on offline dating. So Samantha will give us some tips and advice on how to meet people in real life. So first off, Samantha, why do you think singles are so addicted to their dating apps?
I think dating app is a real thing, and in fact, millennials are 125% more likely than other generations to say that they're addicted to the process of making a love connection. And so it actually taps into our reward center in our brain, which is the same as sex or drugs or alcohol or gambling, where it releases dopamine and makes us feel really excited. So we stay on those apps and we keep swiping away, looking for that next high, and we have a difficulty getting off our phones and actually getting out into real life. We're stuck looking at our phones and we're missing so many opportunities to connect.
Yeah, and I think it probably doesn't help too that there are so many dating apps and they're coming out like every single day too.
Absolutely.
So do you think it's a good idea to take a break from dating apps? Do you think what we're doing is a good idea?
I think millennials need to step away, and not just millennials. Everyone should take a break from technology and get back to old school dating, which means meeting people in real life. I think that we have almost become insensitive to nonverbal and verbal communication skills that allow us to really connect and create relationships, and that we need to hit pause and really get off our phones, stop sending emojis and cat memes, which I love, by the way, but it's really, again, preventing us from connecting to real people in real life.
Right. So do you think, though, there are any situations where dating apps are better than, meeting the old-fashioned way? Like maybe if you move to a new city or something, like do you think there are any instances where they're preferred?
Dating apps, I think, can be an easy icebreaker because you don't have to put yourself out there if you're not really comfortable with the city or you don't know anyone to go out with. So it's not that they're awful. I met my husband online, so I love dating apps, and I think that they have a time and a place, but I just think we need to really check in with ourselves and ask, how we can better connect with people in real life. So just the same way maybe you move to a new city and you don't know anyone, well, a great way to meet people is to get out and go to classes or bars or different events in your town.
Oh, awesome. So we have a ton of Bustle staffers and writers participating in Appless April, so we put a call out and we got a ton of questions because everyone wants to know how to date without dating apps. So our first question is from Martha, and she wants to know, what are the best places to meet single people?
So I really believe that there's not one correct place where all the magical, good quality people are hiding, and that you can make a love connection anywhere, whether it's public transportation, at the grocery store. It's more so about being aware of your nonverbal behaviors and giving the green light signal that you're approachable. But some of my favorite places are, well, it's strategic. It's about going where your passions and interests lie. So I love to be active and have a healthy lifestyle. So meeting someone at the gym where there's interactive classes like boxing or kickboxing or a rock climbing wall or signing up for a Spartan race or a Tough Mudder. But the same goes for maybe you're really into art, so you like to go to museums or local galleries or to the bookstore. So it's really about saying, what am I interested in and where can I meet those people, and then putting yourself in a situation where you can go and meet them.
Great. Tanya wants to know, how do you catch the attention of someone you think is interesting?
Someone you think is interesting. Well, to catch the attention of anyone in general, if you're out and about dating in real life, it's all about your nonverbal signals. So number one, and most importantly, is eye contact. So I have a little formula. So it's eye contact plus smile times 3 equals the green light signal. So when I say eye contact, like if I'm looking at you, I want to lock eyes for about 3 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, which is slightly longer than you would in real life, and it feels a little intimidating if you're lacking that confidence. But when you do that and you add a little smile at the end and then glance away, that is that, yes, I am approachable signal. And if you do it 3 times so that the person doesn't think it's a mistake or that you locked eyes by chance, that's a really good kind of formula to keep in mind.
Awesome. Catherine wants to know, is it better to go to bars by yourself or with a group of friends if you actually want to meet someone?
I think either or. The only issue is when you're with a group of friends, you're not necessarily aware of your surroundings. You're more engaged in your conversations.
Right.
So to take a step back and really position yourself physically in your environment where you can see people coming in and leaving so that you know who's there. And then also, if you're in a group setting, I really love this tip. So if you're in a group setting, it takes a man or a woman a lot of courage to come up to you and approach you in a group. So you almost want to step away from the group and make yourself more approachable by excusing yourself to the restroom and walking by them, standing in closer proximity to them so you're next to them and talking to the group away from, you know, your position's next to them, but you're talking to the group on the other side. Or you can even do like the little come over here wave, which is really flirty and kind of sexy, and that way he can approach you, or he goes like this back and you leave your group and approach him.
Love it. It's a good challenge for Atlas April. So you're talking to someone at a bar. What are like some good tips for starting a conversation that's non-cheesy or awkward?
So icebreakers are all about saying something contextual and related to the situation you're in. So if you're at the bar, like you just said, you might say, so what are you drinking? Or can you move over? You're hogging all the space at the bar.
I like that.
And then it's kind of flirtatious. So ask them something specific. If you're at the gym, for example, you could say, wow, it really looks like you know what you're doing. Can you help me or show me the right form? Or can you, what other classes have you taken here? Or what other workouts do you like? So just really be specific about the situation you're in for your icebreaker.
Great. Kelsey wants to know, her coupled friends always say that she should talk to people on the subway more. Do you think they're insane or correct?
I know that can feel really intimidating, but I actually have a friend who met her husband waiting. I live in Boston, and we have the T there, and they saw each other every single day at the T stop, and no one ever broke the ice, but they always smiled at each other. And so finally one day he went over to talk to her on the train, and he dropped his entire coffee like all over the floor in front of her. But I think, yes, you can make a love connection anywhere. So public transportation isn't sketchy, but if you never break the ice to talk to someone, how are you going to know what you're missing out on?
Right. And it's okay to be clumsy, clearly.
Of course.
Catherine wants to know if it's ever okay to flirt with someone at work.
That is an interesting one. I recommend that people don't dip the pen in the company ink, so to say. But I do think that if someone works in another department, or you're not really working with them closely on projects every single day, then it's okay. But it gets messy because ultimately you never know if a relationship is going to last or work out in the long run. And so you put yourself in a situation where you might have to break up with them and still work with them.
Right.
And a lot of people can't do that. So if it's a bigger company and you don't work in the same department, I think that's fine.
Great. Christina wants to know, how can a shy introvert meet people in real life without it being super stressful for them?
I think people label themselves as an introvert but confuse it with being shy. So an introvert means that you recharge your battery on your own. So you like your time solo. Big loud environments are kind of stressful for you and overstimulating. So put yourself in environments that feel a little more intimate, like a coffee shop or something quieter or calmer. But ultimately, you can't hide behind your defined role as a introvert, because it means that you're never going to meet new people and you're never going to put yourself out there. Right. So just because you might be shy, it's again different than the introvert. So you really can meet someone as an introvert, but think about your surroundings and environment that might feel a little more soothing and calmer and not as intimidating.
Great. Catherine says, my friend introduced me to someone in real life they thought I would like, but we don't get along at all. How do I make this situation less awkward?
Tell your friend, don't set me up anymore. I think you just, tell the person, hey, it was really great meeting you. I think you said her name was Catherine. So you just say, I'm so happy Catherine introduced us, but I'm just not feeling a spark. And then you turn to Catherine and say, hey, Catherine, I so appreciate that you set us up, but I'm just not feeling the connection. And you can tell her why, so that she can keep her eyes out for other people. Because meeting people in real life, if you don't hit it off with other people's friends, they still have friends of friends, coworkers, family members. So it's good to keep those connections, and it's good to have other eyes out there looking for you.
Yeah, awesome. Another question. I have two sisters who are actively dating on dating apps, but no one ever sticks. Is there something in the water in NYC?
I don't think this is just specific to New York. I think it is countrywide. And it kind of depends on your age range, but I think because dating apps are really addicting and people can physically see the hundreds of potential matches for them, it comes down to what I call the grass is greener mentality, where they think maybe there's someone slightly better out there for me. Is there someone more attractive or who I would get along with better or who would make me happier? So I say that they don't put 2 feet in or 2 fingers in to the relationship because they keep swiping. So at some point when you think someone has potential, the only way to know if it's going to work out is if you commit. The worst case is that you break up, but actually I take that back. The worst case is that you miss out on really committing to someone and seeing if there's potential because you can always break up.
Right, okay. But so what do you think about dating several people at once, you know, in the beginning stages? Like, do you think that's a good idea, or do you think you should just stick to one person?
I love dating multiple people at once and always tell people to go for it. I don't think you should put all of your eggs in one basket early on. I do think that when you're being intimate with someone, physically intimate, you know, obviously practicing safe practices, but also being aware that that might be a turnoff for other people. So never assume monogamy unless you talk about exclusivity. If you choose to sleep with someone, just be aware that other people might not want to get involved with you if they know that you're sleeping around.
Right. We have another anonymous question. What I like about dating apps is that you have enough time to craft your responses and present the best version of yourself before meeting in person. How can you present the best version of yourself in real life without hiding behind the screen? I'm always nervous that I won't have the same charm or say the wrong thing.
I love that question. And I think that everyone who's online dating has the same question. Like, is this person who they really say they are? Do they look as good as they do in their profile photos? Are they as witty in their interpersonal interactions as they are on text? You know, do their interests align? So I think that that's almost the problem with texting, is that we can't just have these, you know, rants and conversations off the fly, and that they're too pre-planned, or you think of the perfect thing to say. And so in that case, I think that when you break the ice with someone in real life, again, being really contextual about it. Obviously, flirtation includes humor and wit, and I personally love teasing. I think teasing is a great way to kind of add a little flirtation. And you can also do a quick phone call with someone. So if you did meet online, before meeting in person, do like a 3-minute phone call. Just say, hey, I'm just in between a couple things. I have to run in a minute, but just wanted to hear your voice and follow up on something we were chatting about, and then get off. You don't need to have an hour-long call. And that way, before meeting with them, you can figure out, are they worth your time? But you won't know in person. In real life, you don't know unless you have the conversation with them.
Another anonymous question. What if you meet someone in real life and then you find out that they're still on dating apps? What point should you discuss getting off apps?
I think that's really unique to the specific relationship. Some people really move very quickly into a committed exclusive stage. Other people, it takes a long time. I like being upfront. I think honesty is the best policy, where if they ask you, you can say, yes, I'm casually dating, but I really like you and I like where this is going. Or if you want to talk about exclusivity, you could say, you know, how do you feel about getting off the apps? Or, hey, just so you know, I'm not using my online account anymore. Are you okay deleting yours as well?
Awesome. Another question. I'm nervous to engage in Apple's April because I don't want to lose the opportunity to meet people the easy way. Is there a way to make meeting people in real life feel easy, or does it just take practice?
I think it absolutely takes practice to get outside of your comfort zone and to really feel at ease with the process, but I think there's certainly ways to improve your nonverbal behaviors that make you more approachable and that you can approach other people. So again, the eye contact thing that I talked about, smiling, one big kind of secret weapon that I call it is kind of an empowering positive affirmation that you say to yourself when you walk into, whether it's the bar or your gym class or your college classroom, and that is to think something about yourself like, I know I'm the hottest woman in here, or I know you're checking me out, or I know you want me. And it might, you're like laughing when I'm saying this, but it gives you this like vixen energy, and it makes you smile, it might make you giggle. And when other people see you laughing, they're not thinking, why is she laughing to herself? They're thinking, she looks happy. I like happy people. People like happy people. So they want to approach you. You look attractive. So I think it's like employing these little skills to work on your confidence to make it easier to go out and meet in real life.
And also like projecting positivity attracts positivity.
Absolutely.
Awesome. We have another anonymous question. I'm in a committed relationship and I've never used a dating app. Is it weird to feel like I somehow missed out on the fun of them? I feel like this is a really great question, but it's also, I think a lot of people that are doing Appless April are worried about, they have like a FOMO about not being on dating apps too. So I think it's very relevant.
So the FOMO piece comes into the same way that the grass is greener.
Yeah.
It's because just because you know people are out there, it's the idea of commitment and like, why are we struggling with commitment?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. So there's some statistics out there that say millennials, 57% of millennials report feeling lonely.
Yeah.
And despite all of our social media and all of the dating apps and online, places to connect, we're feeling disconnected and alone. And so if you can't create a feeling of connection in your own relationship and really, see where it's going to go, and you're constantly worried about who else might be out there, I don't care who you're dating. It's never going to be enough. You're never going to be happy. It's a mindset to say, hey, I'm in this relationship and I feel good about this. If you're really not happy, that's a whole nother topic. And you guys can talk to me more about it in depth. But I think, that's some good advice.
Another anonymous question. I get hit on all the time on dating apps. I must have 50 messages in my inbox as we speak. Are there easy ways to suss out the bad ones based on their initial messages? Like, should I penalize them if they open up the conversation with, hey, cutie, or don't spell things correctly?
I personally hate the hey, cutie. I do too. I'm such a grammar person that bad grammar is a big turnoff. But I think there's two things you can do. Number one is don't feel pressure to respond to everyone who messages you. They're under no obligation to send a message back. And then number two, to rule some people out, if they don't fill out their profile, or maybe it's just a few emojis or like a one sentence, they're not showing that they're a quality person. And if you're a quality person looking for a quality partner, why would you bother talking to someone who's like not invested in their dating profile? Even if they're extremely attractive, like they're not saying that they're taking it seriously. So only focus on people who put a genuine quality profile. And if they do say, hey, cutie, and you happen to like their profile and you're attracted to their pictures, then you can respond. But I would start with something like quality and substantial, like, hey, I see that you like X, Y, or Z, or that, in your picture you have a dog. Like start up a real conversation. Otherwise, it's like someone who just wants an ego boost.
Yeah, totally. And how would you say dating apps have changed our single and our dating behavior in general?
I think that the dating apps more so, dating sites have been around since the very late 90s, early 2000s, but the apps, especially the swiping apps, add such an instant gratification piece, that addicting piece, that I think on some hand, they have given us more confidence, because it's nice to see that someone swiped right and we matched with someone, or to receive a bunch of compliments or people inquiring about your life. But at the same time, again, it's impacted us in a way that we are fearful to commit and miss out on future opportunities.
Absolutely. So lastly, what's your favorite advice that you would offer single millennials when it comes to finding love?
Oh my gosh. My biggest piece of advice would be, I guess if we're talking to single millennials out there who are online dating, I would fully invest, if you're online dating, fully invest in creating a quality profile because of what I just said. If you're really looking, millennials, you're 18 to 33-ish, and that's the age where you're looking to find a significant other, or to settle down, or to get married. So if you're doing it, really put yourself out there. And show that you're a quality person and what you're bringing to the table. Nothing is worse than listing on your profile everything that you're looking in a partner where you haven't showed up and said, this is who I am, this is what I'm bringing, these are my good qualities. And then to people meeting in real life, I think the biggest piece of advice is, if you're out there and you haven't initiated a conversation, you're already losing, right? Because you will never have met them, you will never connected to them. But when you initiate the conversation and make that connection, that is your opportunity to see if it develops into something more.
Right, exactly. Well, thank you so much, Samantha.
Thank you.
This was super helpful. And I think everyone doing Appless April just got a lot of great tips to use this weekend.
I know it was a lot all at once, so feel free, for people to reach out and ask me more questions, and I can help you with their specific situations.
Great. And where can people get more information on you?
Sure. So my website is lovesuccessfully.com, and I have a bunch of articles on dating and breakups, and I offer dating, breakup, and relationship coaching as well. So I'm a licensed therapist and I work with couples and individuals. And then you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Love Successfully. I love Instagram. I do a lot of behind the scenes there. And then on Twitter, I'm at love_expert_Sam because Love Successfully was too long.
Perfect. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.